So I just posted grades on SIS, and I want to explain to families and students how these grades actually work so that you understand. So I'm going to try to keep this really short, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I want to help you. I want you to improve. So in math, there's going to be two types of grades. There's going to be learning grades, which are grades that are just your initial practice. They don't count for any percentage of your grade, but they're practice before we take our actual quiz or test or mini quiz or test. And those grades, quizzes and tests, are going to be the ones that count towards your final grade. So learning grades are 0%. There's going to be points associated with them in Canvas and on SIS, but they don't count towards your final grade because they're practice when we first start out an idea. They're a good way for you to gauge, do I understand this concept or not? So if you don't do well on them, those are ones you're definitely going to redo just to get the practice to prepare for the quizzes and tests and the mini learning quizzes and tests that are going to come up. Quizzes and tests are the ones that count for your grade. This is what we take after a couple of days of practicing an idea and asking questions in class. We take these count for the grade just as a kind of final exit ticket to understand whether or not we understand an idea. Both of these things can be redone and resubmitted. So if you want to make any corrections, please do it. And even though learning grades don't count for a percentage, redoing and resubmitting those things help you learn. So I always suggest that you redo anything you can. You learn so much more from fixing a mistake than just moving on and accepting where you're at. So look at those things, look at the feedback I gave you, because I made sure I gave feedback on everything that I could that you missed. Sometimes it's in video form, sometimes it's in words, sometimes it's in work that I've circled where you've made the mistake and where to look back to fix it. So there's lots of different ways you'll see feedback, and I want you to take that and use it, because I do spend a lot of time to make sure I understand where you made the mistake so I can help you fix it, because we want to learn from those things. So please submit, resubmit again, try those things again. Don't just leave it like it is. Okay, there's no excuse for not doing better, because you can always resubmit as many times as you want to, and it's going to be the most recent one that pops up. So grades are most up to date in Canvas. At the end of the week, I put them in SIS, and since we are just into our first few weeks, I just put our first few grades up in SIS. So I want to show you what it looks like. A couple of things. So LRN, those are our learning grades. They don't count for any percentage, but they have points associated with them, just so you know where you're at on the learning standard. So when we're looking at these grades, this person got a 3.5 out of 6, so I would suggest that they definitely redo that and look at the feedback and make sure they understand why they got what they got. This person got a 1, so I would definitely look at the feedback and try to understand where the mistake was made. And this person got a 6, so they understand this concept, which it looks like it's order of operations. They understood it when we did our first practice. They've got a good handle on it, so they're doing okay. This is a quiz and test. It's only 3 points, but it's multiplying and dividing, or multiplying whole numbers, and these are our bigger whole numbers, so it's 3-digit times 2-digit, and it's identifying the error. So exempt usually means that someone hasn't turned it in yet. If you see that on SIS, it either means they haven't turned it in, or I've excused it. So that's just something that we'll have to have a conversation of. Most of the exempts right now, I haven't excused anyone from anything, so most of the exempts right now just haven't been turned in yet. A 0 means that they got 0 out of 3, so that one is definitely one you're going to redo. Look for the feedback and try to figure out where the mistake was made. And then a 3 out of 3 means you did really well. Okay, so same thing with here. We've got another learning grade. It's worth 12 points, so it doesn't count towards the percentage, but it gives you an idea of how well you're doing on that concept. So this was on powers and exponents. So this person got a 9 out of 12, so they only had 3 that they needed to fix. This person got a 3 out of 12, which means they probably need to redo that and really understand that concept. And this person didn't turn it in yet. So on Canvas, it's going to look a little different. So this dash means that they didn't turn it in. This means that I still have to grade it. So maybe this person turned it in late. It's blue, so it means they turned it in late and I just have to grade it. I haven't gotten to it yet. And then these ones have the score. So it tells you the score, that it is possible, and then what they got. Okay. When you're looking at your grades in Canvas, so you're going to go to the class and you're going to click grade. So this is just a test student so that you can see. you can look at all of the assignments that have been assigned so far. So if it says it's missing, it means that person hasn't turned it in by the time that it was due. You see these ones are due a little bit later, so they don't say missing yet because they're not due yet. But this one was due on September 9th and it was not turned in. This one, I got a 4, or the score is test student because it's obviously not a grade, and the possible is 4. And this is where the feedback is. So if you click on that assignment, you'll look and the feedback will be right here. Sometimes, like I said, it'll be a comment and just in words, just depends on which one's easiest for me to describe in the most efficient way. Sometimes it's a video, so me explaining, and sometimes I'll attach a document where I show the mistake. So that will kind of help there. Again, if